We are in New Braunfels, so just southwest of Austin.
Okay, very good. Nice. So tell our listeners a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? How you got into, the movement doc of Texas?
Yeah, so I actually grew up in Lockhart and San Marcos area. I went to school at Texas State University in San Marcos, and I kind of just stumbled upon PT when I was about 14 or 15 years old. So I knew at that time I wanted to be a physical therapist. So I've been practicing for about 12 to 13 years, and I guess about 9 years into it, I started getting burned out, and I really couldn't see myself doing another profession. So I was looking at other places to apply to, and I realized that the grass wasn't necessarily greener on the other side. And I had been listening to a couple of podcasts, and it was podcasts of clinicians who started their own business. And months went by, and slowly the idea started crafting about starting my own business. I never saw myself as being a business owner. And slowly the idea started being born. And on my son's first birthday, I applied for PLLC, and from there just started developing the movement doc. And so months later, we put it into practice, and it started off as me, and I started at gym that was the catalyst I needed to help start the business. So from there, I was able to hire my second hire, and then my third, and so our practice has been thriving. So
I love it. It sounds like you guys have quite a mix of, I got it, CrossFit, that's so big. Tell us a little bit about the audience that you support and help, if you could.
Yeah. So the fun thing is, like, I've always had a passion for like treating like athletes, and anyone's an athlete, right? Like anyone who's just active in general can call themselves an athlete. And so I really love to work with people who had like higher level goals for themselves. And so most of our clientele is 60 years and younger. And we see runners, we see CrossFitters, people who do jujitsu, weightlifters. So it's been great. It's been fun because we get to problem solve all the specifics that the stuff that they can't do. So we have to problem solve why, what's going on biomechanically. And our programs aren't cookie cutters. They're specific to whatever the impairment the person is having. And we start that at the initial visit. So
I love that. Yeah, cookie cutter. It's funny. I think most of our audience that has gone to any kind of PT, it's cookie cutter, and you're using bands. They put some, and I've obviously done it as well, but they put some sort of fun, easy treatment at the end, so you come back,
right.
And and it's not really getting to the source of the issue, or most PTs. Why, in your opinion, since you came into this new world of really not cookie cutting each one of your patients, why is it still so old school with how most PTs treat?
I think it probably comes down to the schooling and level of training. I'm really lucky and blessed that the PTs that I have, and me myself, like we never stop learning. We believe that movement's essential for recovery, but also like progressive loading. So we follow the principles of specificity, and so we really want to give our clients a higher level of treatment. And so a lot of times, like, many therapists aren't comfortable with that because and that goes down to the schooling. Most of our schooling is like 10 years behind of where we should be. And it really takes a physical therapist, once they get out of school, to seek those certifications, seek those trainings, and not just from physical therapists, but from personal training, and just different schools of principles and schools of thought. So
yeah, I think it's the common theme that we get with offices like yourself, that take advantage of direct current is exactly that. These are individuals that are seeking education, that are seeking advancements, that are seeking modalities that, work, right? And with that, I always have to ask, when and how did you discover direct current for the first time?
So honestly, like for the past year, I always try to look for treatments that can set us apart, and treatments that could really give us faster outcomes compared to maybe other physical therapy places around us. And so for the past year, we have been utilizing like Russian stimulation, which is obviously more alternating current. And so I had been looking for a year, like, okay, what's a good machine or unit that we can utilize in clinic to give our patients faster outcomes. And it wasn't until I came across ARPWave that we decided to like try this out and see what it's all about and what type of improvements that we can get from it. And so we've been getting amazing results with it. So
yeah, I always have to ask, as you started down that journey of educating yourself and going through this process, give our listeners, whether they're patients or PTs, chiropractors who offices that use or are thinking about direct current, give them some of those aha moments where you had a patient that was struggling, and how did direct current help them?
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing is like when you're making an investment like this, the first thought in my head was like, is ARPWave just a glorified like Russian stim machine? And so I wanted to come into it with no expectations. But then when we applied this machine with patients who had like true diagnosed radiculopathies, where they had a true neuropathic weakness, and like for instance, we had a guy who had a lumbar radiculopathy affecting his big toe. Like when I first saw him, he had no movement in his toe, like none, no trace of a movement. And then once we started integrating ARPWave on him, within weeks, like each time he came in, I would see double the range of motion in his big toe. And now he has like full toe extension. And so that'll be one of our posts coming up, highlighting like how ARPWave has kind of helped him get his strength fast. Because I had been seeing him months prior using Russian stim, and we were not getting the improvements that we were getting once we integrated ARPWave. Yeah. So it seriously has been a game changer, not just with strength, but also with pain too. So we also do dry needling and e-stim as part of a service. And we've had patients who are obviously not fond of needles. I mean, many people are not fond of needles, but it does give us range of motion improvements. And so we've had a couple of patients who have said, hey, it feels exactly the same when you put the ARPWave on me versus like dry needling, and I still get the range of motion improvement. So why not like just go with the ARPWave versus dry needling if I'm getting the same type of response to it? So we've kind of changed our treatment plan and have had those individuals use ARPWave for range of motion improvements as well. It's helped several patients with regard to with pain. It's helped control them. And we were trying to integrate different things like manual techniques, exercises, traction, just to control someone's pain. And then the moment we added the ARPWave, it's seriously like managed their pain a whole lot.
Yeah, it is amazing. The direct current is incredible. I mean, we see it, and it's so good to hear how direct current, it's funny on the needling side, right? Doing, that I actually experienced that, and I've realized, Jake will laugh at this, I am a wimp. I thought it was going to be, a 60-minute like kind of let's relax. I think it's more intense, honestly, than utilizing direct current. That's me personally. I think obviously everybody has a little different, kind of mindset of the different modalities. I mean, if it works and you're in pain, this is what I tell people: if you're in pain, it doesn't matter what you're doing to me or a patient. They want out of that pain. They want to move. They want to, and I think introducing and utilizing direct current along with some of these other modalities that you have in your clinic, huge game changer. And so we love hearing those success stories, because we're still kind of, I'm in shock when we talk to other PTs around the country, even patients. It's like, because it's so new, and it's really not, because it's 20 years old,
Mhm.
this technology is now much more available to PTs like yourself. And,
Mhm.
we have a free 90-day trial. That's how confident we are with the technology, that we'll
Mhm.
give a free trial, free training,
Mhm.
unlimited resources, because we know if you take and roll up your sleeves and just try to learn it, even if it's just the foot bath. I mean,
Mhm.
Jake can attest to this. I swear by the foot bath. I think that alone, if you do that, because it can solve so many things, and I'll let Jake attest to it. And you probably, your first experience and your aha moment was, there's so much that this can do, but there's so many other conditions that this can help solve. Tell our listeners a little bit more. Give us a couple more aha moments where you had direct current with another condition that you were struggling with other modalities.
Yeah. Well, I want to say, first of all, like I didn't want to like the machine.
That's
I
Not
did,
alone.
I love
I
it.
didn't want to like it. So I was like, you know what? I'm probably not going to buy it, but I'm going to try the 90-day trial. And like halfway in, I'm like, oh my gosh, this piece of equipment it really is a game changer. And like I said, once we had that patient with the radiculopathy and he had no toe function, and weeks later he had full toe extension, I was like, we've got to have this in our clinic. And then we've been coupling it with BFR, blood flow restriction. And so those two interventions, it's allowed our patients to make significant gains in their muscle strength, hypertrophy. So it's been great. And it's a type of treatment that a lot of patients can't get in our surrounding areas. So I've had several patients say, well, I thought this type of care was only reserved for professional athletes. So it has done wonders for our office. So
Yeah, that's great.
yeah, and one of our therapists, Brent, he a couple of years ago he had a humeral fracture, and he had long-standing paresthesias in his hand area, like so the radial nerve area. And so he tried the ARP wave. He did a couple of strengthening exercises, had the ARP wave on, and within a session, he no longer felt paresthesias in his hand. So I followed up with him today and asked him how he was doing. And he's like, after that first visit, I no longer had numbness in the hand. So it's not only did it help after one session, but it's carried over for weeks. So that's been amazing to see.
We love hearing those stories. We hear them all the time.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic. And I think for those clinics out there, and hopefully none in your area, because we want to have everybody, to tell them about patient referrals, because we hear that from so many clinics that once you fix somebody, have you had that experience of patients telling patients of, you got to go here?
Yeah, I mean, most of our growth, I mean, I'd say like 98% of our growth has all been word of mouth referrals.
Nice.
Patients going to tell their spouse, or they're going to tell a friend of a friend, or they're going to, if it's an athlete, they're going to tell their other buddies and stuff like that. And so we really work hard to provide a unique service, and utilizing or having ARPWave in clinic has really just kind of solidified that and made us unique in the surrounding area. And I've already had a couple of people who have tried the ARPWave, and they've referred mostly their spouses or their friends to utilize the technology too. So.
And how did you, out of curiosity, how did you come across Nervotics and our company?
I was following another sports PT, and I was kind of creeping on their pages to see what like neuromuscular machines they were using, and I saw this one PT had tagged ARPWave, and then I started following you guys, and that's how it happened.
Yeah, we love it. I mean, it's funny because it's a slow growth, but it is, it takes somebody to kind of be, that's why we have so many people, that we say, hey, follow us on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to see if Sarah's paying attention so that she can actually plug our Instagram right now, because there's so many clinics, PTs, patients that are all, I don't understand there. Look at that. She's paying attention. It's a little, but it is great. The other source that I absolutely love is our getting people to subscribe to our YouTube channel, because there are so many great stories, so many great clinics, so many patient stories, that I think is important as you're trying to educate yourself, whether you're a patient or whether you're a clinic, on what is nervotics, what is this direct current? I do have to ask, and it might be premature, but do you take advantage of any of the over-the-counter devices for patients for rentals or for purchase so they can actually do homework away from the clinic?
We haven't yet. We haven't taken advantage of that just yet. Yeah,
that's another game changer, where we have so many PTs around the country that are integrating the over-the-counter as a homework assignment, so that when you kind of put together your program, the patient either can purchase it or rent it, and it's a great opportunity for them to actually speed up that healing, because they can do either blood flow, or you can kind of prescribe some exercises and things they can do in between sessions at your office. So I highly recommend doing that, or looking into it. But I think that for patients and people in your area that are looking, are you guys insurance based? Are you cash basis? How do you guys run your practice?
We're we're a little bit of a hybrid clinic. So we only take Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance, and then everyone else is cash based or out of pocket. So that's,
Yeah. And how do you introduce a new patient to direct current? Is there a product once they come in for the first time?
Yeah, it may be the initial visit or the second visit, but we're usually integrating that early on.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and Dr. Alisha, I have to add, you didn't show a lot, but there were several videos of just doing a lot of good movements with the direct current on. And, could you explain how easy that was to kind of set up? Because I think a lot of times a doctor will get intimidated and doesn't realize how easy this is to actually, put it on a patient, have them go through the movements that you had planned on doing as a physical therapist to begin with.
Yeah. I mean, like probably less than 2 minutes is what it takes. And so we've been looking at whatever muscle groups or whatever area nerve function that we're trying to stimulate or trying to highlight. And it takes less than 2 minutes to kind of just to set it up. And so we've done stuff like isolated movements, like if we want a person to work on big toe strength or hamstring strength, but then we've also integrated it with big functional movements. So like weightlifting, fast twitch movement. So it doesn't take very long, and you're getting a whole lot of benefit out of it. So the cool thing is I've had several patients who they'll always say to me, I can't feel my glutes, or I can't feel my quads turn on. It's like that conduction to that area is not really strong. And then they've spent 15, 20 minutes with the ARP wave on, and they can actually feel like they're able to actively turn on those muscles. And so a lot of times, like many of them will say, like, this feels great. I haven't felt this in like 10 years. And now I can feel like those muscles actually kicking on.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's been awesome.
Yeah, I think, and again, what we find is it's not rocket. I mean, there's really not a wrong way to use it, but I do have to ask, and Jake, you might have to go off camera because it's probably going to be a plug to you, but tell our listeners and folks thinking, have you the training aspects, because we're all about, we want to make sure that anybody that has one of our devices can take full advantage of it from all the different conditions. Share with listeners out there, how and what have you done to train yourself or utilize the Nervotics training process to help educate yourself as you were going through that trial?
Yeah, I think we had all the staff kind of go through the through all the videos that you guys have provided. And then through our assessments, we look and see what muscle groups are weak, or where is there atrophy in certain muscle groups. And then that's where we've been applying it. We've basically taken the principles of what we would do with Russian stim, and then applying it with the ARP wave, and then combining it with BFR. So we followed the protocols that you guys provided, but we also experimented with different protocols as well. So I
love it. This is good, because that's kind of how this thing has evolved with protocols. Yeah. And Jake is the master. Have you taken advantage of his free one-on-one training for your staff if they get into a situation?
Not yet. Not yet.
The-
That's
the
on
beau-
our to-do
But
list.
Dr. Alisha, the beauty of like just hearing you talk, it explains really what this device, in my opinion, was designed to be. It's
Mhm.
kind of a plug and play. I think people overthink it. I think it's
Mhm.
really easy to work, and you prove that you didn't have to take anything outside of your clinic. You literally could bring it in and merge this within your clinic. Like nothing
Mhm.
had to be changed. And I
Mhm.
think that's what a lot of doctors are worried about is if I bring this in, I have to change my entire process. And it
Mhm.
doesn't sound like you had to do that.
No, it didn't. And then we can modify it. So if we have somebody who's coming in with like a nerve issue, we'll experiment with putting the ARP wave centrally around the spinal cord area. And then if that doesn't work, let's modify it on the next visit and see which approach or which application gives them the most bang for their buck, which gives them the most relief. So it's just that easy to utilize and to modify and see what the patient notices the most.
Cool.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, this is this is so refreshing. It's to hear your expertise, how you dove in. I love that you said you didn't want this to work. I mean,
that was the best.
Brilliant, because guess what?
I can
You're
relate.
not alone.
I can
You're
relate.
not alone. But the second that you, and this is what we, I mean, that's how confident we are with our training, with our process, with our technology. It's like, if you're going to put it on your hardest patients, we know you're going to figure out how to integrate it because it works. You know, it's all about the outcomes. And as a doctor in your position, you want those outcomes to be successful, whether you're working on a 30-year-old cross trainer or some 60-year-old pickleball player. They have the same goal. That's movement.
Right.
You know, to hear your practice and to hear what you're doing is remarkable. And you know, I'm glad you haven't taken any of those one-on-one free training sessions with Jake, because now he's not going to hit me up for that raise.
I still might, Matt, because this is a volunteer job, Dr. Alisha. It's all for free. You mentioned BFR. I get this question a lot, and I have a BFR machine, and I've used it with this before, and I use it sometimes in conjunction, with what I'm doing. I'm curious, how have you merged BFR with this device?
Before you answer that, hold on.
Yeah.
For those that don't know what BFR is, could you explain that to somebody listening that may not even know what BFR is?
Yeah. So BFR stands for blood flow restriction. It involves using like a cuff, or can use bands. In our clinic, we have a device that computes someone's limb occlusion pressure. And it'll basically look like a blood pressure cuff, and it'll apply a certain amount of squeeze to reduce the blood flow down to the extremity, and basically give patients exercises. And the beauty with BFR is that you don't have to give them as much resistance as they would with a normal amount of weight, and they're going to feel a big pump, and they'll feel fatigue without adding so much weight in there. And it can help with muscle hypertrophy, and certainly, of course, with outcomes and stuff like that. So
yeah,
so that's BFR in a nutshell. But we'll first apply. We don't want to throw too many things at once, right? Like, we will usually do the ARP wave first, so that way we can see if a modality did help, what modality was it. And so we'll start with the ARP wave first, and then we'll want to make sure that patients can tolerate that amount of pump before we start adding BFR in there. So
perfect. Yeah, I was just curious. Cool.
Well, good stuff. Jake, this is
I'm going to Austin. I love Austin. It's a great town, and now I want to visit you guys.
You can stop by anytime.
I love it.
Awesome.
Well, so for people in your area, or anybody that just even wants to travel, because you've got an impressive practice, how can they get a hold of you? How can they come in and get treated?
Yeah, so we've tried to make it pretty easy. We have you can schedule online. Just find us on the Movement Doc. You'll see a link to schedule online. You can always message us on Instagram. You can direct message us. There's also a link to schedule from our Instagram, and then email, or just call or text. So we try to provide just different modes of communication and accessibility to our clients. So
I love it. Well, we hope other PTs are going to be scrolling your Instagram, but hopefully they're outside of your area, so that they don't come in and try to take over that area of yours. But yeah, this is exciting. We're so glad that you're able to be part of the Nervotics family, that you're here, and we're here to help support you. And would love to talk to you about the over-the-counter programs that we have to maybe integrate that, just because the clinics that have the PTs around the country that do, they absolutely love it, because so many are afraid that it's going to cannibalize their business. Mm-hmm. But in reality, it only helps them, because if they can get fixed in 5 to 10 sessions, along with a device that they're using for 30 days or 60 days that they're renting, mm-hmm. they're telling everybody and more. So most of these clinics don't have a problem with patient referrals. It's, if anything, just the opposite. They're hiring more, PTs to kind of help, facilitate all the work. So it sounds like you're doing a phenomenal job. So glad to have you in the Nervotics family, and so glad that we're able to support you. Jake, anything else for Dr. Alisha?
I just thank you for your time, and we wish the most success for your business. You certainly deserve it. Just from what I've seen, it excited me just making the intro video. So I knew it was going to be a good one when you came on.
Thank you.
Well, great. Thanks for your time today. Can't thank you enough. And honestly, that bed is, I'm kind of ready for a nap. Jake, it's his nap time right now. So it's part of his contract.
Yeah. What's going on here? Now I am going to ask for a raise.
There you go. I love it. But thank you so much for your time, Dr. Alisha. We'd love to have you back on again in a future date. This was extremely informative. So thank you.
Thanks Appreciate your time.
Appreciate it.
Wow.
Yeah, she was good. She was fun.
That's good. I mean, I got to tell you, I mean, I think the takeaways, obviously, that I got was, so many people that say, oh, I don't want this to work, because it's something they haven't learned, or they haven't, and then they get it in, and sure enough, it's like, it's a game changer, which she obviously, and I love that she's creative enough to figure this out, and to not be so concerned with how and what the pad placement should be, and experimenting, because it's all about the outcomes. And that, Jake, better than anybody. But what were your biggest takeaways from today?
Her honesty of not wanting it to work, because, a lot of doctors, I think, will take it with that same mindset, but they won't talk about it when they keep it. So it's kind of, it proves itself out after the 90 days. But for someone to say they didn't really want it to work, you're already a sort of a skeptic of what it can do. And when this can prove that wrong, that always makes me feel good, because I'm kind of a skeptic myself until something really does solidify and prove itself. And 90 days is it's like risk-free, because you're going to see some results a lot sooner than that. And I just appreciated her honesty in that.
Yeah. I still struggle even with friends that are coming off of injuries and stuff. You're like, go see this doctor, go see here. Where are you located? Go try it. And for whatever reason, they're sticking with the traditional PT that's going to lead to surgery. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to explain that, hey, listen, you got to go give this a shot. And I think for any patients out there that are struggling with whatever, and you're leaning towards, traditional PT, absolutely give it a shot. Whether it's with Dr. Alisha, or, reach out to us on our website, and you can, we'll help find a clinic for you at nervotics.com.
Beautiful.
Jake, always a pleasure, my friend.
Likewise. Good to see you again. When you coming back to Florida?
Soon.
Okay.
As soon as I thaw out.
The sun misses you.
We had 12 inches of snow. So.
Oh my goodness, you're killing me. See, the sun needs you. It wants you back home.
I need the sun, trust me.
I bet you do.
All right, my friend. Have a good afternoon.
You too, sir.
Thanks.